Hello, this is Dave Myers with Paper Trail Financial. This video is the first of a two-part series where I demonstrate how to create a break-even table and chart using your QuickBooks Profit and Loss Report. Here in the first part, I'll concentrate on prior year results. In part 2, I'll show you a way to create an interactive break-even table and chart that's tied to the prior year results of your business. I'm going to start by generating the Profit and Loss Standard Report. I want to change the date so we get a full 12 months of results. And I'm going to change the columns to monthly. And we'll export this report to Excel. Now that we're in Excel, I'll change the page width to one page and I'll resize the column. I want to rename the sheet P&L, and I'm going to create a new sheet and I'm going to call it Break Even. I want 8 columns in this table, so I'll highlight 8 columns and resize them and put in our column headings. We'll put in the months, sales, total sales, cost of goods sold, total cost of goods sold, operating expenses, total operating expenses, and our gross margin or profit margin. And let me make them bolder and I'll center them across. To get the month information, I'm going to go back to the profit and loss. We can highlight the month row up here, Control C. We'll right click in the months, and when we do paste special, we want to choose transpose, so the information goes, instead of left to right, goes top to bottom. And I'll also get rid of the borders here. For sales, again, go back to the profit and loss. Highlight the row, Control C. And then we're going to pick values here because we only want to move the numbers over, not the formulas from the profit and loss. And we're also going to transpose this. Cost of goods sold is the same thing. Go to the profit and loss, total COGS, Control C. We'll paste special and we'll use values and transpose. And one more time for the total expenses, for our operating expenses, Control C, and paste special, values, and transpose. And I'll put some number formatting on this. For total sales, we want the accruing amount year to date for each month. So we're going to make this equal to January in January. But in February, it's going to be equal to January plus February. So we'll pick January and February, and you can autofill down. Same thing with cost of goods sold. January is equal to January, and February is equal to January plus February. Total operating expenses are a little bit different. We want to show their sum total as the hurdle we have to overcome for profitability. So we're going to add them all up. I'll insert the sum function and highlight the entire operating expense column for January. For February, we'll just make it equal to January, and then we can autofill it down. Our gross profit is going to be total sales minus total cost of goods sold. And again, just autofill it down. And I want to highlight the total rows here because that's what we're going to use in our chart. The break-even point is going to be where the gross profit is equal to fixed expenses, or for this example, operating expenses. And we can see here from the table, the break-even point was somewhere between the end of August and the end of September. This is when the business reached profitability. Now, most break-even analysis includes a chart, which is easy to do when the information is laid out like this. I'll highlight the months, and holding down the Control key, highlight all the total columns. and we can go to Insert, and we'll choose Area Chart, and I'll choose the Stack Chart. Now the data is in the reverse order I want it, so we can go to Select Data, and we want to move them around. I want to put operating at the top and COGS in the middle to reorder them, and click OK. Let me check the tick marks, and they're where I want them to be. But I want the sales data to intersect with the expense data, so I'm going to change the type of chart just for this data set. We go to Change Chart Type, and we'll choose a line chart. And I can highlight it and Control 1. We can make the line a little thicker. And I'll give it a background too. I'll make the chart a little bit larger, and I'll try to zoom in. The chart shows when our year-to-date revenues meet and exceed all expenses, which in this case is when gross profit reaches $212,664. In this case, which is after the end of August, it looks like somewhere in early September, which is about 9 months into the 12-month period.